Welcome to the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast, a place for you to find the courage you need to take the first step and every step thereafter to create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. I'm your host, health and life coach, Abby Hegney. Let's dive in. Welcome back to episode 33. Today, we are diving into a topic that I know will resonate with so many of you because it is something that I hear all of the time in my coaching conversations. Today, we are talking about quitting on yourself. Maybe you have started and stopped more times than you can count. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you have tried everything and nothing seems to work. You've set goals, you've made plans, and you've told yourself this time it's going to be different. And then life does what it does best. It happens. Motivation fades. Challenges pop up. And your inner mean girl gets really loud and you start doubting that it's even possible for you. Or maybe you are ready for change. You're ready to go after your goals. You want more from your life. You just don't know where to start. You start here. You start knowing that you are not alone. You start knowing that it is possible. You are capable. Today is the first episode in a series of episodes on the topic of quitting. And I wanted to make this a series because quitting isn't as straightforward as we think it is. Sometimes quitting on ourselves is very obvious. And sometimes, most of the times, in fact, it is so subtle that you don't even realize that you are doing it. I want you to see it all so that you can stop quitting on yourself and finally create the habits and the confidence and the balance and the consistency that you want in your life so that you can create a life that you are obsessed with, the life that you dream of living. Today, we are going to talk specifically about why we quit on ourselves and our goals, what's really happening, and what needs to shift to stop quitting on yourself and to keep yourself moving forward. And then next week, we're going to dive more into the ways in which we quit on ourselves. And that episode, I do not want you to miss. But I also do not want you to wait to start making changes. Start making changes based on what you learn today. Last year, I hosted a webinar on this very topic. And I had women on there that said that that webinar alone changed them. I had women reach out immediately and join Confident Mind and Body because they saw for the first time why they had been quitting on themselves, how they had been quitting on themselves, and how they had been doing it for most of their lives. They walked away from that webinar knowing that they were ready to stop quitting on themselves. Those same women changed their lives completely in just 6 months inside a Confident Mind and Body. They went from believing that they had tried everything and nothing worked to finding what worked for them. They went from feeling tired all of the time to feeling energized to go through their day, and they ended their day feeling used up in the best of ways. Those women went from feeling defeated and believing that change wasn't possible for them to blowing their minds with how good they could feel and how simple it could be. All because they did this work. They stopped quitting on themselves and they kept themselves moving forward. I want that for you too, because it is possible for you and you are capable of creating the change that you want in your life. So let's dive in. Okay, here is what I have seen over and over and over again in my years as a coach and what I have previously experienced for myself. And what I want you to think about and be honest with yourself with is which one of these things resonates with you? What feels true to you? What have you also been doing? So, what I see is that most women spend more time thinking about what they want than creating it. They take too long to get started because they are waiting for the perfect time. They're waiting to feel ready. They're waiting for life to slow down. They're waiting to have time and space to focus on themselves without having to worry about anything else. They spend so much time and energy focused on the wrong things, doing a lot, but not making any progress. If you have not yet listened to the episode on hard work versus working hard, go back and listen to that right after this episode. This is exactly what I mean. It's like when they are feeling like they are working so hard, but yet they're just spinning their wheels, focusing on the things that don't work for them, the things that aren't moving themselves forward, the things that don't feel good or they know are not sustainable for them. I also see that most women are resistant to failure. They're scared that they won't do it, so they don't do it. They want, they wish, they hope to achieve their goals, but they don't actually believe that they will achieve their goals. This is what I want you to think about. When you think about the goals that you have for yourself, for your life, do you believe that you can reach them? Quitting on yourself doesn't happen because you can't or because it's not possible. It doesn't happen because you want to quit on yourself, on your goals, on the life that you want to be living. Let's be very clear on that right from the start. Your inner mean girl will tell you stories all day, every day to convince you that you will never be able to stick with it, that you've tried everything and nothing works, that it's too hard, you're too busy, it's not the right time. Those stories will feel so true. They will feel too heavy to carry, and eventually you'll quit because it feels like the only option. But the only reason that you fall victim to your inner mean girl is because you don't actually believe that you can do it. When your foundation is a lack of belief in yourself and what you are capable of, you will always quit on yourself. When you don't fully believe that your goals are possible or that you are capable of achieving them, quitting becomes the easy way out. It feels so much easier to quit than to face the discomfort of change head on. If you want to stop quitting on yourself, if you want to stop quitting on the habits and the confidence and the life that you want, you have to start believing in yourself. So, how do we build belief in ourselves, especially when we don't have it? That's the $1 million question, right? Quite simply, you have to learn to quiet your inner mean girl. Her stories, when you believe them to be true, translate into what you believe or you don't believe is possible for you. But those stories that she tells you, the ones that feel so true, only feel true because they are well rehearsed. They're the stories that you have told yourself over and over again for years. It's what you know. Those stories are based on everything you have always done. But what you've done doesn't indicate what you are capable of. If you take anything from this episode, take that. What you have done does not indicate what you are capable of or what is possible for you. It's simply a reflection of the stories that you have believed and the actions that you have been willing to take. If you want to create change in your life, you have to be willing to change both of these things. Most people only change their actions. They do all of the things. The problem with this is if you don't learn to quiet your inner mean girl, her stories come with you no matter what you do. It's why you feel like you are working so hard and not making any progress. It's why eventually it feels too hard to keep going. It's why you quit. Think about it in terms of starting a morning routine. Okay. You do all of the things. You know that you want to start waking up early. You know it's going to be better for your day. You know you're going to feel more calm and grounded starting the day on your term. So you make your plan. You set the alarm. Maybe you set out your clothes, or some people I hear even sleep in their workout clothes to make it easier for them to get up. These are all of the actions that you take. Maybe you set your coffee to start brewing before you wake up so you have a cup of coffee ready for you in the morning. We focus on all of the actions, but none of that matters if when the alarm goes off, you fall victim to your inner mean girl and you believe her stories that you are too tired, that it's too dark, that your bed is so comfortable, that you didn't sleep well, you only got 6 hours of sleep and you really need 8 hours. When you choose to focus on those stories, you will never feel motivated to get out of bed, no matter what actions you have taken to set yourself up for success. But when you learn to quiet your inner mean girl, you lessen the load. You reduce the drama that goes on inside your head. You hear her stories and you find the truth. When your inner mean girl tells you that you can't, the truth is not that you can't. The truth is that you are not. It feels true because it is true. But again, not that you can't. It's true that you're not. The truth is always there. It's just hidden behind the stories of your inner mean girl. When you learn to quiet her down, the truth becomes so obvious. You can't not see it. And this is a good thing because it redirects your focus to what's in your control. Believing that you can't takes all of the control away from you. But seeing that you're not gives you all of the control. It gives you all of the control that you need. It shows you that you just need to start doing things differently. Maybe that first thing that you do differently is to quiet your inner mean girl and challenge your thoughts. Maybe instead of believing, I can't, you ask yourself, does this thought help me or hold me back? Is it holding you back? If so, reframe it. I can't can become I'm ready to try, or I'm willing to figure this out, or I want to figure this out. Or maybe it becomes I'm learning how. The act of learning is so underestimated when it comes to creating change in our lives. We think that if we work hard, we should see steady results. But real change can be messy. It's full of ups and downs, wins and setbacks. When we expect perfection, we set ourselves up for disappointment. And that disappointment fuels the belief that we're failing, even when we are making progress. We let our inner mean girl convince us that we should be further along. But the reality is, you are exactly where you are meant to be right now. There is no arguing that. It's where you are. If you were meant to be somewhere different, you would be somewhere different right now. You are meant to be right here, right now. Believing anything else takes you away from the belief that you have in yourself, in what is possible and what you are capable of. When you learn to quiet your inner mean girl and you believe that you are right where you are supposed to be, you bring the lessons from your past. You see what worked, what you want to carry with you, and what hasn't worked and you are ready to change. You deepen your commitment to your goal. You find the courage to take the first step and every step thereafter, to go through the hard and the challenges that may come your way. And you find the desire to keep going, knowing what is on the other side. So, I want to tell you a little story. When my daughter was in preschool, her teacher used to transform the entire school into a magical bear hunt once a year for the kids in her class. And the children would walk through long, wavy grass and a deep, cold river and thick, oozy mud. They'd walk through a big, dark forest and a swirling, whirling snowstorm and a narrow, gloomy cave while singing, "You can't go over it. You can't go under it. You have to go through it. You have to go through it." As we get older, we forget this. We try to go over, we try to go under, we try to get there as quickly and easily as we can. We do everything in our power to avoid going through it, through the hard, through the challenges, through the failure, through the lessons, through the downs that lead to the ups. As soon as we are faced with the hard, we believe that we are doing it wrong. We let our inner mean girl convince us that we can't, that it's not working, that it's too hard, that it's not happening fast enough. We believe her stories, we get frustrated, we quit. It feels safer to believe I can't do it, and we go back to not doing it. But you know life not doing it. The habits that you want to develop, the confidence that you want to feel, the balance that you want to create, the life that you dream of living, the one without restrictions and deprivation, the one where you feel confident in who you are, in your body, and in the decisions that you make, the one in which you feel calm and collected, where you're no longer blaming your kids or using them as a reason why you can't do it, is a result of going through it. It's the only way. You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. Quitting might feel like the easier option in the moment, but it keeps you stuck in the same patterns, the same stories, and the same life that you are ready to leave behind. When you refuse to quit, when you choose to believe in yourself, even when it feels hard, you open the door to the change that you have been dreaming of. So this week, I want you to ask yourself, what do you know to be true about you? Not what your inner mean girl is telling you. Put those up on a shelf, put them aside, bring yourself back to what do I know to be true about me? What have you already achieved in your life that at some point was hard to believe that you could do it? How have you shown up for yourself? What were you believing about yourself and you were capable of in those moments? Your inner mean girl loves to forget all of these little steps, these big wins, the breadcrumbs of evidence that show you the truth. that show you what is possible and what you are capable of when you believe in yourself. Bring yourself back to that. Take quitting off of the table. Remind yourself what it is that you want, why you want it, why you showed up in the first place, and keep yourself moving forward. This is just the beginning. You know why you are quitting on yourself now. It's time to quiet your inner mean girl. Next week, we are going to be talking about how you quit on yourself. And I'm going to give you a little hint. There are 3 different ways that you quit on yourself. So make sure you tune in to next week's episode so you can get very clear on each of the ways that you quit on yourself, how to identify them, how to move through them, how to take quitting off of the table. But don't wait to take action. Use what you learned today and start applying it. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about believing in yourself enough to see that the habits and the confidence and the life you want to be living is worth refusing to quit on. Okay, my friends, if you have not yet left a review for this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you did. I love hearing from you and how this podcast is helping you to create the change that you want in your life. So please leave me a review. All right. And I will talk to you next week, and we will dive further into part 2 of quitting and why you're not going to do it, because you're going to know exactly how. All right, my friends, I will talk to you next week. If you are ready to quiet your inner mean girl, I invite you to join me inside Confident Mind and Body, my private coaching program, where you will learn to quiet your inner mean girl and create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. Just visit wellnesswithabbyh.com and schedule a free consultation.